Hey guys, what's going on? I'm back here with another video. Um, Basically just a Reddit stories video for you guys. I just want to say thanks for all the support you guys are giving me, and I'm really grateful again. Um, you should definitely, if you're interested, check my Discord out. It'll be at the top link in the description, and I'll throw it in the pinned comments as well. Um, And also, by the way, I just want to announce to you guys, I already told my Discord server this, but I am officially a YouTube partner. And so that's really cool. It's a really cool milestone. And I have, you guys to thank for that, for giving me so much time and attention on these little dumb videos that I make. And I really do appreciate it a lot. And I want to thank you guys for, showing interest in this little kind of like passion project of mine, I guess, that I'm doing. And yeah, I'm gonna get some membership stuff figured out here soon. I've been talking to my Discord, throwing the idea of members only streams out there and some other members only stuff, but I'll come to that whenever, you know, time is right and when I think about it a little more. So yeah, let's get right into this Reddit stories video. So this first story is from the subreddit r slash what should I do, and it's titled GF. That's really all it's titled. It's not really a lot of context there in the title, but the story reads: so my girlfriend recently went to a concert, and I don't really care if she does all that stuff. I don't really care, but all I wanted to know was who she's hanging out with, and she said her cousin. In my mind, I think it's really weird because she never really has hung out with a cousin ever. But I was like, okay, be safe and have fun. She goes to the concert and she's snapping me and all that, but I notice the person that she's next to, and it is not her cousin. It's a different girl that looks like she's about 27 and has a kid. But this girl is someone that my girlfriend works with. Now, what I want to know is, am I in the wrong for being upset that she lied to me? Because it really hurt that she lied to me about something so simple. And I wouldn't care who you're going with as long as it's not another guy. Just tell me the truth. So am I wrong for being upset? Should I bring it up? I'm not sure what to do. Thanks. Honestly, in my opinion, I kind of just think, I don't know. This is just from my opinion. It's maybe a little bit of extreme in opinion here, but I really do kind of believe that if people lie about small things like this, then I feel like these small little white lies add up over time and are to potentially cover up a very big one. And I don't know your girlfriend, and I don't have any proof of this, and I don't know the dynamic of the relationship of your girlfriend and this work friend, but something I do know is that people who lie about simple things, like not necessarily pathological liars, but people who just lie constantly, it's from like two or three other things. One is from trauma, from maybe parents or past relationships. And two is because they're trying to protect a thing, another lie. They're trying to protect something that they may actually be guilty of doing. And I don't know what that would be here. Maybe she is cheating on you with this other person, but I wouldn't jump to those conclusions. I wouldn't like confront her in that way. I would just ask her why she told you she was going to this concert with her cousin, and it was somebody who that she works with. Basically just ask her why she lied. And it may be like a really stupid reason why she lied. It may just be something along the lines of like, oh, I didn't think that you liked this girl, so I didn't want to like tell you I was going to hang out with her at this concert. Something like really stupid like that. People do lie about really dumb things for really dumb reasons. It's like kind of a thing that I guess kids do, but a lot of people kind of carry that into adolescence and into adulthood, etc. And it's just a stupid thing. Like, for me, in my opinion, this is a stupid thing to lie about if you're not doing something like cheating or, I don't know, like some other thing. I'm not really sure. Again, I don't know the real life dynamics or the relationships going on here. But to me, this seems like a dumb thing to lie about. And I would kind of just ask her, like, hey, what's up? Why are you lying about this thing? Like, what is it? You know? But I don't know. It's probably a really dumb lie. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably really stupid. And I would just confront her casually about it. And yeah, that's about it for that one. Let's get on to the next story. This next Reddit story is from the subreddit r/vent. And the title is I Was Ghosted. The story reads, I, 21 female, met a man at my workplace, 26 male. He showed interest in me several months ago, but I never really saw him in that way. I've never dated anyone, and I thought I was lesbian for the longest time. I really enjoyed talking to him, and I loved how he was attentive and listened to me. Fast forward to a couple months ago, we agreed to hang out, and I thought about the idea of dating him. Then I learned a few things about him, and I just thought it wouldn't work out and felt so empty and broken at that idea. He felt the same way, and we could just not let each other go. I will admit, I wasn't fully attracted to him at the beginning, but this personality just overrode that. I still felt an attraction to him, though sometimes I felt guilty. We are going on slightly different paths in life, and we've realized that we wouldn't work out. We agreed to be friends with benefits and just be there for each other for now. Then out of nowhere, he just stopped contacting me. At first, I was numb to it. Then it started hitting me more. I find myself thinking about why. Did I do something? Did he do something? What happened? I find myself thinking about all the time we had together and how I might never see him again. And it hurts a lot, especially since my life is changing now, and I can't share it with a person I cared about a lot. So, this is really rough, I would say. In today's world, especially when it comes to dating, making friends, just anything that has to do with that, ghosting is such a poison, It really is. It has poisoned, I feel like, an entire generation, maybe even two, with taking accountability for your thoughts and feelings and going to people with them and telling them that you can't stay friends with them or you can't continue to be with them, whether that's in a romantic relationship or whether that's just in a normal platonic relationship. And I definitely have kind of done this before. And I say kind of because I've gone back since and explained things to people to give them clarity. And I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but to me it was worth it. And I would want someone to do that for me. If I was being ghosted, I would want that person to give me some kind of clarity to help me move on. Now I can 100% just say that ghosting isn't a good thing and move on with this, but I can not necessarily justify the ghosting that happened here, but I can definitely give you a good reason for it. So, I feel like the reason for the ghosting might have some parallels for reasons why people don't stay friends with their exes that much, or partners that they were with, or just, people who hurt them. And for exes, at least, I can say that staying friends with an ex is really hard. platonic friends, that is. And especially when it's a fresh breakup or like you've realized you can't be with them. And even if it's a mutual thing, it's a pretty difficult thing to do, to be friends with somebody that you planned on being with and you emotionally shared a side of you that no one else really had in your life at that time. And trying to just, cut the romance, cut, everything else that comes with a relationship and only stay friends with somebody like that is a really hard thing to do. And it can break you. It can destroy you as a person. And so for me, at least, every time I've done this, it really, really just deepened the wounds, the emotional wounds that I felt for the breakup or whatever it was. And in almost every circumstance, it has been better for me to stay away from this person. And now, that process of staying away from them can be hard. But you owe it to them. You do owe an explanation to them. Tell them why you can't be friends with them, or friends with benefits in this scenario here. And that's probably because he was hurt, that he couldn't be with you, and he could only be a friends with benefits or a friends situation. Maybe he couldn't, he didn't have the strength to just be friends. And so he had to leave the relationship behind. And, it could also be a trauma response too. I'm not excusing anything this person did, by the way. I'm not excusing the ghosting or the lack of clarity that they didn't give to this poor girl. But just generally speaking, that's the reason. He couldn't bear the pain of only being friends with you. So leaving and not telling you anything was easier for him. But that does not make it right in any way or shape or form. And I think you might want to try and reach back out and ask him why. Tell him to give you clarity on that. And I think that might be your best bet, but that's probably why he did it. He probably just didn't feel like he was strong enough to remain friends without feeling a romantic connection to you or wanting to be in a romantic relationship with you. But yeah, that's about it for that one. Let's move on to the next one. So this next Reddit story here is from the subreddit, everyone's favorite, Am I the Asshole? And the title reads, Am I the asshole for forgetting my girlfriend's birthday? The story reads, I, 19 male, just forgot my girlfriend's, 19 female, birthday, and I don't really know if it's actually my fault or not. Over a year ago, we had a conversation where she kind of messed with me over her birthday, being August 14th or August 16th, and she wouldn't tell me, and I got super confused. It is August 14th. Ever since, I have had trouble remembering if it is the 14th or the 16th because of that conversation. Come this summer, I went away for an internship, and at the very beginning of the summer, I said I was planning to return home August 15th so I could spend her birthday with her. Obviously, I made the mistake of thinking it was on the 16th. Come today, months later, she barely speaks to me all day. And then, at the end of the day, she texts me, It's my birthday. She said I should just know her birthday, but I mentioned many times this summer being excited to come home and spend the 16th with her for her birthday. So she had many opportunities to say that I had the wrong day. In my opinion, I feel like she kind of trapped me and just wanted a reason to be upset about something. And it is pretty immature for her to go all summer knowing I had the wrong day and then get mad at me on her birthday. Maybe I'm wrong for not remembering her birthday to begin with. Am I the asshole, or should she have just reminded me? I think there's two faults here to put on to you guys. I don't think this is like a huge deal, by the way. you should definitely like treat her with respect in this whole situation, obviously, but I don't think this whole thing is a massive deal. And, you know, just kind of treat it like a normal issue in a relationship. But in my opinion, the thing that you may have been able to do better here is just straight up dropped the question directly. Now, the human language is very vague. There's a lot of vague things in the human language that we just naturally assume through specific phrases, contexts of situations, and the energy in the conversation as well. There's a lot of things we assume there. And a lot of the things that we do say to each other as human beings are extremely vague, just like what I said. And I think to get a very specific answer out of somebody, oftentimes you need to be direct. You need to be direct and a little firm with it, you know, so they understand what you're asking them and can give you an appropriate response back to you for your question. And so that's the only thing I think you could have done differently here, is just directly asked her the question and gotten the specific response, and then maybe wrote it down in your phone, put it on a calendar or something like that. But the thing that kind of, for me at least, alleviates a lot of the responsibility on you here for me is she had several times, if you're, you know, telling the story correctly from memory and you're being charitable to you and her equally, it sounds like she had several different instances to correct you. And I'm not saying that she just got mad at you to get mad at you, but I am saying that it's her fault as well for not correcting you. Because if you had spoken to her several times and have quoted the date incorrectly to her several times and she didn't correct you, then she is also kind of in the wrong for that, because she had multiple times to give you a correction on your misinterpretation of what her birthday actually was, and she didn't. And, you know, that's on her, completely on her for that. There's nothing that you could have done there. Yeah, but you should have just asked her to begin with whenever you weren't sure. Like, you obviously have a feeling of an unsure feeling here about this whole thing even beforehand, but you should have just asked her straight up after that conversation had happened, to be very clear and just concise on that. But yeah, that's about it for that. Let's get on to the next story. So this last story here is from the subreddit r/vent, and the title reads, "I can't stand people who don't think they're privileged." The story reads, "My boyfriend's brother is going to college abroad paid by his parents. He was talking to me about his college dorms that looks like a penthouse and that he thinks they're too small. He also mentioned when he visits the campus that he felt like an outcast being surrounded with spoiled white kids with privilege. My brother in Christ, you are one of them." Apparently, this is not the only time he's said something like this either. My boyfriend mentioned how his brother and half of his family aren't in speaking terms because of said privilege that he apparently does not have. My boyfriend's family is very, very well off. My boyfriend's dad is very high up in the corporate ladder in a very well-known company. His mom is an architect, and grandfather has his own construction company. My boyfriend's family never knew financial struggle, is what I am saying. To say that you're not privileged while also going to a prestigious college abroad on your family's money is insane to me. I wish my family had enough money to spend on my college. I grew up very poor in a developing country. I couldn't even afford to dream about these kinds of opportunities. I wish him well regardless at college, but damn, I was not the person to tell him this." My opinion on this, I have kind of a similar opinion. Now, while I'm in a better off state than I have ever been financially in my entire life right now, when it comes to my family, my mother, just my parents in general, my grandparents, like we all live together because, economy's kind of rough nowadays for homes and housing, just without getting political or sociological or anything. Everything's a little rough, and it's better to kind of just partner up with like 2, 3, or 4 roommates and split rent and utilities down the middle. And so when I was younger, I was a lot less well off, and I didn't have much. I was homeless at one point, and like I've kind of, as when I was younger, I was kind of drug through the mud a little bit. Not too much, not too much, but just enough to kind of harden me later in life. And, from a very young age, I knew and understood, at least as much as like an 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old can, the value of the dollar, and truly how valuable money was, and just how much it could change somebody and change your life too if used in a good way. And so I understand this so much. I remember at one point when I realized I was poor when I was younger, was I went to this kid's birthday party. It was the first time I had ever been to a birthday party from a friend. I was in like first or second grade. And I remember walking into this birthday party, driving down this development with 4 or 5 bedroom houses with like 2 or 3 bathrooms, with like, 3 or 4 like decks, just on the sides of the house, is a full like roundabout front porch that circled the entire house almost, and this giant plot of lands. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the biggest house I've ever seen. And I remember like being at this party with these kids, and they were all acting like, oh, this is normal. And I remember walking into this kid's bedroom, and I'll never forget this for like the rest of my days being alive. Like I saw like 3 or 4 consoles and this really decked out laptop running Minecraft on it. And I'm like, I've never seen this much money in one room before. And it's silly to think about, because now I have a 3 monitor setup. I have a nice speaker. I have, several gaming controllers. I have several, like, all these peripherals, like enough put into this money wise to record and upload videos. But also, like, I live in a 2-story house, not really 2-story, but has an attic and a basement, a fully finished basement with a kitchenette, several rooms, a bathroom. There's 2.5, I think 1.5 bathrooms upstairs. There's a bathroom in my basement. Like, there's so much like to be thankful for now as well. And so, while I don't have that 5-bedroom, I mean, I kind of do, but not that pretty wraparound porch, not that huge plot of land, not all that, but I'm way better off. And so, like, that changed my mindset on money from a young age and to now. I'm very greedy, not really, I mean, kind of greedy with my money, but also at the same time, I'm very like conservative with it because of how I was raised, and I was kind of poor growing up. And so like I feel this. I really, really feel this. And honestly, sometimes it's not these children or young adults to blame who are privileged like this. It oftentimes can be, the blame can be pointed towards their parents, because like, I don't know, there's so much going on in the world today that I wake up and I do feel grateful for living in North America and in the United States, because we really don't have it that bad here. Like, I don't know, like compared to the rest of the world, we have some of the highest quality of living. Like, the new poor is in some, like the poor in our country is like higher middle class than others. And I don't know what to really like think about it, I guess. And I feel really grateful. But like some of these rich kids don't really know they're rich. but there's so many resources they can look at to like point them towards, like really truly open their eyes. And you know, like their whole lives are kind of spent in this echo chamber of family where like they're treated to nice dinners every night at restaurants. They have like 6-bedroom houses with 3 bathrooms and so many square footage and so many acres, and it's in like a paid for education completely, private school, like whatever. But some of these kids don't really know that, and they grow up in this bubble their whole lives that, you know, it'll only ever get popped when they go off to college and they realize, oh shit, there's not a lot of people who are as fortunate as me, you know. And these social spaces like college dorms and college campuses and just classes in general do teach us that there's a lot of like mixture of other people from other, you know, financial classes and other social classes and whatever that are put into one area to learn. And so that does kind of give us that information when it comes to being able to like derive other people's experiences and their quality of lives that they may have had that weren't as fortunate as ours. And there's always someone out there, and there's always going to be someone out there who is suffering like more than you are. There really will be. And there's always going to be someone who's doing better than you are. It's just kind of how it is. You only truly can like derive your happiness and your quality of life from the way you feel about the position you're in. And no matter what that is, I'm sure everyone can find it. And yeah, that's about it for this story. And that'll also be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. And if you like videos like this and you want to see more, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel so you can come back when I upload, whenever that is, because I have a really shitty upload schedule for some reason. But yeah, I really do hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to click the link in the description. At the top of the description specifically will be my Discord server's invite link. You can join that and chat with some other fans of mine and some community members and maybe me if you catch me in there at the right time. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.